It is 5 o'clock on the dot. Welcome to the B Show. I am your host, Deborah Voltaire Coulange. Today, it's going to be a fun show. I'm so excited. If you didn't watch the promo, how dare you? Like, what are you doing with your life? I have the Sibling Soirée with me. They are brother and sister. And I just want to know first, like, how is it to work with your sibling? Me and my sister are super close. We are peanut butter and jelly, crazy glue, and gorilla glue. And it's hard to separate us, but I couldn't work with her. We work two different ways. She gets things done last minute, whereas I planned, and then I get things like I plan, and then I do like 1A cook check. She goes like she goes from 1 to 7 to 6 to 4 to 3, but then still gets it done. I can't work like that. And I know it's hard to work with your sibling in anything, but there's nothing better than having a sibling, because like no one knows what you go through in life. No one understands your story, your upbringing, the way you are than your sibling. And when something happens, like who you gonna go to? Like my husband knows my family so well, but the stories that sometimes I tell him, he's like, what? And no one knows but your sibling. And the same thing for him, vice versa. So I just want to know what it's like to work together. They are such a beautiful brother and sister, I may add. And I don't know if you guys follow Eric. I'll definitely make sure he gives you his handler. His body is amazing. So he eats a lot, but I don't know where it goes. And we would definitely find out. And they're waiting to join in the chat. So I want you all to give a warm welcome to the Sibling Soirée. Let's get these good looking brother and sister in here. Hi, guys. Welcome to the B Show.
How's it going?
So exciting. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to meet you. And I'm so happy to see you. Eric's been so long. Eric and I went to high school together.
Seriously, forever. So long. Good to see you.
Yes. I don't know if you guys were listening, but at first I said you guys are like the best looking brother and sister. So I won't say who's better looking, but I will say maybe like she's a doctor, but I won't say.
Oh.
Our sisters got to stick together.
Listen, I respect it. I respect it.
Yes. So for everyone who may not know you guys, can you please tell us about the Sibling Soirée?
Sure. Well, the Sibling Soirée is a space where we sample and support Black-owned food and beverage companies. That's kind of our intro tagline. And we really believe in providing an opportunity to just highlight the amazing brands that are out there. And listen, these are not new companies, right? The reality is that these are businesses that have been in existence for years, and maybe now because the world is suddenly woke, that we're suddenly recognizing and appreciating these brands. And so this just gives us a chance to pay homage to those groups and get a little tasting and sampling in at the moment too.
Right. And let's be real, like we're foodies through and through. Like that's what we do. It's always been our MO. So, when and I guess we'll get more into this, but when we came up with this plan, it was literally just like, this is what we love to do. We want to share this with the world. We want to put it out there and highlight some of these businesses while we do it, That's kind of what we are.
Yeah.
I love it. So how did you guys even come up with this concept? And who came up with it?
So this is an interesting story, actually. I don't know if there's a who per se. It was kind of an evolving conversation. So I'm hanging at home one night and my sis hits me up. And like I said, we're always talking foodies, sharing recipes, things like that. That's kind of just our thing. So she texts me with this list of Black-owned wineries. This was kind of at the time when Black Lives Matter was blowing up.
Yes.
Everybody wanted to support Black-owned businesses. And she found this list of Black-owned wineries. And I was like, wow, that's so dope. I was like, we should just try everything on this list. And just talking as a foodie to my sister.
Right.
And then, we kept texting back and forth and every text was an evolution in the mindset and the process. And then it was like, oh, well, we should review them. Oh, maybe we should put this on YouTube because other people might want to see it. And like, next thing we know, we had a whole concept for a show and we ran with it. But
it morphed very quickly too.
very,
And I
very
think,
quickly.
we're not talking about over a span of days. It was literally like saw the list, started just following back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Like a 15, 20-minute text exchange, pretty much.
Crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And one thing that you guys did mention is about when this all started doing the Black Lives Matter movement. And one thing about your page that I love is that you guys are true to, like you said, Black-owned businesses and to drinks and all. How important was the Black Lives movement and making sure you have Black business-owned companies for Sibling Soirée?
Yeah, well, I think, similar to what Eric said, just again, someone took the time, right? It was Travel Noir, I can shout them out. And they took the time out to identify all of the Black owned wines that were out there. And, I think that again, at it being at the highlight and the height really of folks were protesting in the streets. Everybody was trying to find a way to be involved and contribute to the movement, right? I think, everybody is not a protester. That's kind of one of the things I tell my students. That might not be your way to support, but maybe you're making it intentional when you're purchasing things to support Black-owned, small business, woman-owned businesses. And so I think that, it was really important to us. And honestly, it started with wine, and there's a long list out there. So we knew we wouldn't be short content. But we said, you know what, let's not just limit it to wine. There are restaurants, there are producers of different seasoning brands, and all kinds of things that are out there that many times are on the shelves and we don't know have been, off the blood, sweat, and tears of Black people. So it was very important to us.
That's really important. And I just want to piggyback over that for a second and highlight this one part, because you were saying that not everyone's meant to be like on the front line of a protest.
Yeah.
Right? So this was something that I struggled a lot with during that time. I tried so many different things to contribute to the cause and that were meaningful to me. And they all felt very fleeting. It's like, okay, I'm going to donate to this. Now what? I'm going to go march. Now what? Know what I mean? And it became like this. I felt like I needed something to contribute that was true to me, something that had longevity that I could keep on going with. And then when this presented itself, that spoke to me, right? Because this is something that I love and that I'm passionate about. And it's also a way to help uplift the community. So that to me was a really important connection, which,
And then you get to eat and drink with your sister.
Do what you love, support the community. I mean, it's a win-win.
The best job ever.
Yes. Yeah. You're like, well, let's do something for the Black community. Do you want to eat and drink?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing about you guys, like the thing that I love going on your page is like forward. There's no what are they, who are they? I mean, from your theme song, which I'm not gonna lie, whoever did it should kind of put that on Apple Music.
Oh, come on. Shout out to Call Me Quay.
We're gonna put a proper shout out there. He's actually a cousin. He's a dope musician. Call Me Quay on Instagram and platforms. Quay, he's an artist. He just released his first album and it's super dope. He's a crazy lyricist. We gave him our concept and he wrote it out like that. So yeah, culture is very important to us and family as well, right? As you see in the show.
Yes.
So that was a big
Tell me a little bit about your history, where you guys are from. I see your shirts. Are you ready for coming to America next week? Like,
always.
We have already.
Morgana, baby.
Yes, you are the true story.
Right.
Well, look, I think, we really take pride in the fact that we are the children of two Ghanaian immigrants, Ghanaian immigrants growing up on Long Island, where this was before it was cool to be an African, right?
Yes. Right now it's cool to be all kinds of, yes.
Cool.
Which I love to see, but we experience it different. Yeah.
It was not always that cool. And so, despite those struggles, oftentimes being in institutions and spaces where we were the only ones, right, who looked like us, our parents did a really good job at instilling our culture within us, at least, and Eric and I had somewhat, different experiences, and he'll talk about his time in Ghana. But I think just having parents who said, no, I don't care if your friends are doing this thing. You are a Ghanaian kid. This is what you're doing. And those things matter. It matters, and you grow with it, right? I also had, part of my background and my work is around international education. So I've been really committed to exposing others to culture. And then also having an HBCU experience. I spent time at Howard University. And so HU, all of those things have kind of in some ways allowed me to not only come into my own, but being passionate about sharing that with others.
Yeah. And I won't say too much
like
more,
such
but
a girl crush right now.
uh,
Eric, you can go. You
it
can
tends to have
leave.
that effect on people.
Eric, see you later. It was great
I'm
having
just
you.
gonna
Bye,
start
Eric. You can
I
go.
appreciate it. Eric, tell us about
Story
you.
of my life. Story of my life.
Yeah.
No, just to add a little more. Yeah, we did kind of have different experiences. I mean, kind of the same growing up in Long Island here, but I moved to Ghana when I was a teenager, like kind of formative years, like pre-teenager, 12 to 14, 15, around there. And that completely 100% shaped who I am today, right? Like just the culture and everything in Ghana is very different from the mentality, I should say, is different from here in the US, right? When we talk about like it takes a village to raise a child, that kind of mentality, you know, like it was very much that. So it teaches you a new level of respect for your elders, for your culture, for tradition, for, you know, all of these things that I had at home, but like being in it was also very different, I think, you know.
Yeah, I can relate from being Haitian.
I was gonna say that
Yeah.
I think you have kind of a similar culture, like mentality, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they don't play around.
Nope.
No, and they don't care what your little friend is doing.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love, like I said before, I love how you guys are so close, and my sister and I are close as well. But I know siblings argue.
Oh yeah.
What would you say is like your biggest argument when you guys are deciding what wine to try? Or what wine to try, or what food to try, or even post? Like, I don't know who takes the photos, but I know someone gets on a ladder because they just look so nice. Even that, you have to argue, like, no, I don't like that photo. Trust me, I got this. You guys cannot be this perfect.
It's a labor of love.
We're definitely not perfect.
but before going into some of our dramas and our beefs, true story, we really are friends, and I don't take that for granted, because I know a lot of siblings who don't get along, right?
Yes.
We actually like each other, and so
we are the best of friends. We can honestly say that. We always have been growing up. We are still very, very close. But like you said, siblings fight. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
And I think almost because you're so close, there's a level of it that, you know, you can fight and bounce back with no problem. So like we have a problem voicing
comfortability, like you ain't going nowhere.
Like I'm gonna say how I feel right now, and you know what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Right.
And I think, you know, well, one, I'm appreciative of this process, because, you know, we now live different lives, and so in some ways, even though we're close, this gives us a chance to really get to know each other on a different level. It's one thing to like know your sibling, but now to work with each other, right? So like Eric is a perfectionist, you know, when it comes to his craft, and so we'll be shooting stuff, and I'll think it's great, and I'm ready to go home, and he's like, no,
that's not it.
We gotta do it again. Why? It looks great, and
that's probably the biggest source of
it
tension
later on and make it look great anyway. So why do we have to do this again? And so
I think that's our biggest source of tension.
Sometimes it's about
on
that.
Set,
sometimes
me wanting to go again.
When I'm tired, I might be a little snap back, you know, and
a lot snap back.
Well,
hold on.
Also,
hold on now. You ain't gonna get on my girl.
I'm just saying, okay. Also, we have to keep in mind, she is a natural born personality. Like she was made for TV and this kind of stuff, right? Whereas I'm behind the scenes guy, right? I'm a photographer. I like to be the one putting the vision together. I'm not always the guy in front of the camera, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, okay, I need to feel right about me. I need to feel right about this segment, everything. And she's just like, I'm a natural, I'm great. And I'm like, no, I need to do it again. So she gets upset, you know? It's a thing.
But I also like things to be done well.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think that we have that.
And that's where you guys meet in the middle, right?
It's where we meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But like
and
you may,
honestly,
you're well, maybe
afterwards,
like you may be like, it's good. And he's like, no, we could be better.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, she might roll her eyes, but then she's like, okay, let's do it again. And we're good, you know? And then I'm like, that was it. And she's like, great. So, you know.
But the beauty about it is at the end, when we do watch it, and we watch our show,
Yeah.
we watch it, we're like, damn, that was good.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes it worth it.
Yeah. I just want to take a second, because as you talk about like the drama that unfolds on set, I want to shout out our videographer, Carl, because he sees all of the behind the scenes drama.
Well, can I say you wouldn't even have him if it wasn't for
I mean, this is how this happened, right?
Okay.
Like it was through
I was
our
like,
connection.
Carl,
St.
They
Mary's
need you.
reconnecting.
And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I'm not really asking you. I'm telling you I'm gonna do this for them.
That's so dope. And I'm glad you did, because you know what? It was a relationship that worked out perfectly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah,
even
shout
what was
out-
it
shout out to
last night? I'm like, hey, let's watch a show. Or was it the night before? And he's like, I gotta edit for the Sibling Soirée. And I was like,
Well,
what you
listen,
ain't
no,
gonna
honestly,
do.
while we shout out your husband, it's important to shout you out because, you know, when you are in a partnership, and you know that someone is passionate about their craft, you also have to give credit to the partner who is supportive of that. And it's very clear he's always talking about you. And we value that because, again, this is a family show. And so
Yes,
I
girl,
will
whenever
also
he wins
appreciate
his
you.
Oscar, Golden Globe, whatever, and he gets on stage, like Marie and Malcolm, if he better don't thank me, there's gonna be a problem. Just like
you about to be standing right there next to him.
No, right? They're like, ma'am, we are calling lines. Yes.
Point and shoot.
Right. Well, I am him. He is me. What?
That's right.
Yep. One thing is also is that you guys introduced me to Black Girl Rosé. I usually only drink rosé that's from Paris because we went there, and to me that's like the best rosé in the world. But that's you guys are influencers. Do you have people come up to you and say that as well? Like, oh, because of you, I tried this, or
well, yeah, actually, I guess. You know, it's funny because like that word influencer, and I guess, you know, maybe it's a generational thing. As I'm very social media focused because of my work. You know, and I think of influencers as like, oh, you have 1 million followers and you're you know, collaborating with brands and all this stuff. And so I don't necessarily mentally put myself in that category, but when you say it like that, yeah, I guess we are influencers, right? You know.
Well, you are influencers because you did the TikTok feta cheese.
This is true.
We did do the TikTok.
Yeah, we are riding some of those trends, and we're definitely putting brands out there. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a level of influence, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was also natural anyway, because I think within our friend circles, we were already kind of the person that they would say, hey, we want to drink something. What should we drink? Right. And so it was already kind of happening informally. So it was kind of natural for us to, you know, we don't call ourselves somms, right? We're not sommeliers. We at some point we'll do the trainings. You know,
interested, but that's
what we like,
right?
And being honest about it. Nobody wants to know what kind of notes they are. You know, they just want to know, does it taste good? And so that's what we try to do, make it relative and relevant. You know.
Well, that's funny you say that because I definitely was going to ask you what is your favorite wine? The both of you. Mine is rosé.
We know. Yeah. I feel like I need to send you a bottle of rosé. It's been a while. We know that you're.
I like pink, and pink is my favorite color.
It looks good on you, girl.
And it tastes delicious. It does.
I don't know what it is. I used to be like obsessed with white wine. And then I think it's like when we went to Paris, it became full blown rosé. And everyone tells me try red, and we went to like a restaurant. I tried 7 different reds, and I just couldn't do it.
It wasn't it.
Yeah. It's rosé or champagne.
Yeah.
And what about you guys?
I think a lot of people's palates fall kind of like in the same realm. And we also on the show we talk about how a lot of people start sweeter and then progress to getting like a little bit drier as your palate changes over time as you try different wines.
So true. I like dry rosé. And I
so
used to like sweet.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm the same way. And now, I mean, it's almost gotten to the point where I'm just exclusively dry. So a lot of times on the show, I'm like, that's too sweet. That's too sweet. That's too sweet.
Yeah.
I think my go-tos now are for white, probably a Sauvignon Blanc. Ooh. And for red, I love a Pinotage. And there's a story behind that because literally my whole family, all my friends have been to South Africa. You all know, if you follow me, that I travel often. South Africa is at the top of my list and I haven't been there yet. So this is the grape that's very specific to the region. And my sister actually introduced me to it and I fell in love with it. And it's not in every liquor store. So I'm always on a hunt for a good Pinotage. And that is kind of my go-to red. Pinotage and pizza, I'll suggest. Great pairing.
Yeah.
That's mine.
And you, my dear?
It depends on my mood, right? Similarly, I think that I go through phases. I love a good oaky, buttery Chardonnay. You know, for whatever reason, I feel like it's nice and full bodied and it just really tastes delicious. So I definitely like a good chard. With reds, I'll probably do a red blend or a cab, right? It kind of, again, depends. Of course, Pinotage, just because so Pinotage has like a very coffee taste flavor to it. So it's very unique. Sometimes it can be really heavy. But if I'm going to drink a red, it'll probably be a red blend. But I do like bubbles every now and then,
Yes.
And so whether it's some Prosecco, there's something sexy about it. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm drinking a glass of champagne. Yeah, you feel grown and you don't need a celebration to pop a bottle either, So I definitely like a champagne or a Prosecco every now and then.
So I usually do something called the lightning round with all of my guests. So with you guys, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, no thinking at all. But instead of answering for yourself, you're going to answer for your brother. And you will answer for your sister.
Interesting.
Are we ready? So I'm going to ask the question, and ladies first, always on my show. And you will go first. Tell us what Eric's favorite color is, and then you'll go and tell us what Lucinda's favorite color is. And there's no thinking. So the first thought that comes to your head.
Okay. Favorite color, blue. All
Her
day.
favorite color?
Red.
Okay. What meal can you eat every day?
Popeye's chicken.
Damn, I feel some kind of way about that. She's not wrong though.
And what about her?
Maybe her husband's oxtail.
Oh, I love a good oxtail.
Oh, we all.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh shoot!
Yeah. We can answer that for each other. We both travel so much.
Can I say ranges? So I'll definitely
say... estimate.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, go, Eric. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, did you go?
Yeah, she said 10.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 13. I don't know. I think we're both wrong.
Favorite alcoholic drink?
Whiskey.
Yeah. Champagne.
Okay. Who takes home leftovers when you go to a restaurant?
Both of us? We ain't leaving no food on the table.
We negotiate.
We do. We split it up strategically so we both get something to take home.
Oh, that's so smart.
We might even order another side or two.
That's to make it a whole meal.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so funny. That's smart idea. I'm gonna tell my sister. She's the queen of taking home leftovers. I'm gonna tell her that one.
It's not like eating good food the next day.
First job.
Working at was it the Time Life building?
Yeah.
Working at Time Life
good job.
As an intern for Sports Illustrated.
Oh, double points.
Okay, do we go back and correct the wrong answers?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Intern at People Magazine.
All right, go ahead, tell us. What was your first job, Eric?
It was in the Time Life building. It was not at Sports Illustrated. It was an IT internship for a book publishing company.
Oh, it was boring.
Oh, so it was boring. No, but didn't you intern first before the company? Anyway, we'll talk about that offline.
And Lucinda, yours?
It was a summer job at Chase Bank.
All right.
What was your country number?
I don't know. I've never.
She said yours was 10, and you said hers was 13.
I went low because she went low. Mine's in the 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's been around more.
Mine's in the 20s.
Yeah,
and
before you joined, I told everyone to please make sure you give your handler because your stomach is like a washboard. It is amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
I even had to say to him, drooling. And he was like, I'm going to tell Carl, like, listen, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? I could look, I could compliment.
Well, thank you. I worked very hard. Quarantine had a different plan for me.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting back to it.
Now you went from washboard to just a board. It's all right.
A board.
have either of you ever been in a physical fight?
Am I still answering for him?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's good. Last question. What chores did you do as a child?
Again, for him?
Yes.
This was
Dusting.
literally
Dusting
every
was his job.
Saturday.
Yes, I was
Dusting
gonna say
was
every
his job.
Saturday.
I'm just gonna tell her this. Her thing was the bathroom in the kitchen, and I dusted and vacuumed every
Yeah.
Saturday morning. Dad would wake us up to loud either high life music, Ghanaian high life music, or jazz, and it was
Right.
time to clean.
Yes.
And we had our jobs. That was every weekend.
Yes, just like a Haitian household. I'm trying to tell you, there's a book, and I need to find this book because every Black parent, doesn't matter what national, every Black
Reads from this book.
has this book, and it's like Saturday morning, you blast the music up, make them do their chores. They don't do their chores, you read them for filth.
Yeah.
It's just a rule.
Who wrote that book? We need to find that person.
The thing is, I don't think you find the book until you're like in your 50s, and then they're like,
they pass it down. After.
Yeah, you can't even be like in your 30s yet. It has to be past.
It's too early.
When you're a certain age. All right, and this is my final question, but this is for yourself. If you can have a sibling soiree date with any other sister, brother, sister, who would it be? Eric?
Can it be a couple?
Yes.
How about you and Carl?
I would love that. Butter me up.
I think we're long overdue for a soiree date.
And my girl?
Look, I love me some, I love Barack and Michelle Obama. So it would definitely.
That's a good one.
Eric's like, oh man.
It would definitely be that.
Eric's like,
I'm over here kissing up to the show.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a very good one. I probably would choose Rihanna. And I think she would be great with wine. And for some reason, she always gets to leave whatever restaurant she is with wine. So I know drinking in the car.
She's
like
right.
If you go and look, she has so many photos leaving.
Yeah.
With a bottle.
She's fun to hang with. I can attest to that.
That would be a good time.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking your time to be on My Little B Show. Please, slowly tell them your handler so they can follow you, please.
Absolutely. So we are at the Sibling Soirée on all the platforms. Also, I am at Eric Akwe, and she is at Dr. Lou
Okay.
Doctor.
Okay, Black female
Idol.
doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being on my show. Eric, I will have my people call your people since I had a crush on her, but now she doesn't even want to go out with me. So Eric, call me.
Yes, I
won. And I hope you guys have enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Keep doing what you're doing and continue to lift as you climb, sis.
Thank you so much. Same to you guys.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. That was so fun. I love them. Do you see their smile? Like, you could tell. They're just happy, genuine people.